You know, this makes me feel slow because it takes so long for the voice to actually get to my ear.
Okay, hopefully we're back live and hopefully people can hear us this time. Hopefully. Oh, sound.
James 1.0 fixed
I hear you
it.
now. Yay! We have success. That's what happens when you have new technology. So, okay, we're going to try this whole opening thing again because
Yes,
James
Bill,
did such
just
a great
staring.
job. So here we go. The show take 2.
Welcome to the Dude, I Got an Idea podcast. I'm James Allen, and I'm here with James McEwen, and it's January 29th, 2021, and we're here to see, and if anybody actually believes that if there can be a simulated alien invasion. What do you think, James? Can one of those happen at this day and age?
Well, given all the technical problems we're having tonight, I think probably yes. They don't want us to get the word out that it is possible. What do you think?
Well, I think it could happen. I mean, all the sightings of these unidentified vehicles, it's something that that might actually be able to happen in this day and age.
Well, it's interesting because, you know, we go all the way back to, 1930. Oh, yeah, it was a 38? Because I have it set up here on my other laptop. War of the Worlds, yeah. Orson Welles, 1938 broadcast, was kind of the first kickoff of the whole alien invasion science fiction genre. And if those who are not familiar with War of the Worlds, it was an H.G. Wells story in which Mars aliens came to the United States, they landed in the United States, in New Jersey, if I remember correctly, and they started laying waste to the world, and in the end, what it was that defeated them was the common bacteria, which is kind of funny because now we're under the pandemic with the virus, but people heard the radio play in the 30s, and there were people that got so panicked they actually showed up at the supposed location of the alien invasion with guns ready to fight and found out it was just a radio play. So this was the first time in history where people were hoaxed by the media. So is it possible? Sure. So I actually have a little bit of that queued up, so we'll play a little of that in a little bit, but the first case of Jersey Shore. Oh, by the way, guys, with this new streaming service that I've signed up for, that we're now streaming across Facebook Live, YouTube, Daily Motion, so you can catch us on more than one platform. We also have this new chat box here that's down below, right over, like it's hard to do backwards. It's right here. So you guys should be able to see everyone else's comments now, and we should be able to see your comments. So everybody see everybody's comments. So it should be pretty cool. So anyway, this is kind of a continuation of last episode, because we were talking about the Illuminati and their plans for world domination. Why would anybody fake a alien invasion?
try to take control. They want to scare everybody, try to have everybody go to the government to try to protect them, and then all the governments are going to fail, and then the UN will come in and they'll save us.
So, getting everybody into,
Habitat zones?
human habitation boats. It's too small for me to see. If you're watching, let me see if I can make it any bigger. Draw this sucker out bigger. If you're watching on a mobile device, it might be a little hard. Let me see if I can make it out bigger here. I'm trying to move it around. We don't need to see us. There we go. I'm doing some adjusting here. James, you talk while I adjust.
Okay, so the first thing I seen, I was looking this up, and von Braun's, one of the German scientists, they actually started developing. I wasn't ready to start talking yet. The Germans are actually started.
Uh-oh. The technical stuff is already happening here.
Anyway, the Germans actually started messing with the alien technology, anti-gravity. Can't even find it now.
Okay. So while you're trying to find that article, well, they were starting with the Bell and some of the other weird stuff out there in the 30s and the 40s. There's a lot of information about that. Let me go back to. I want to play a little bit of this War of the Worlds since we're a little bit scatterbrained today with all this new technology and stuff that we're working with. So, but let me get this rolling here because this is really kind of fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is terrific. This end of the thing is beginning to flake off. The top is beginning to rotate like a screw, and the thing must be hollow.
He's moving! Keep back there! Keep back there! Keep those men back! Keep back there! Keep those idiots back! Take off! The top's loose! Look out there! Stand back!
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the most terrifying thing I've ever witnessed. Wait a minute. Someone's crawling out or something. I can see turning out of that black hole two luminous discs. The eyes, it might be a face, might be almost Good heavens, something wriggling out of the shadow like a gray snake. Now it's another one and another one and another one. They look like tentacles to me. Oh, yeah, I can see the thing's body. Now it's large as a bear. It glistens like wet leather, but that face,
Now, that was in 1938, and radio was king back then. And you can imagine people having no, concept of aliens and alien invasion and stuff, and trusting the radio as their medium, how much for news and information, how much that must have terrified people. Now, we today are much more sophisticated. We've been programmed by media and television and movies and books for years, almost 70, 80 years now, to be prepared for aliens to show up. And all of a sudden, now the Pentagon and the U.S. military are declassifying and saying, yeah, there is aircraft that we're running into that we can't identify and that we can't say belong to any earthly air force, so there's a lot of stuff starting to happen. And you look at what's going on in the world and you have to ask yourself, are there aliens or is there something else going on?
Yeah, secret government aircraft that they're trying to keep out of sight, but a lot of the stuff might be trying to check, see if current aircraft can track the new aircraft they're developing. So that, there's a lot of possibilities out there.
So, I had to kill all my web pages just because it was eating up all the CPU, so I can't pull them up, which is kind of a bummer because I had those ready. Let me see if I can pull them up one at a time, though. Let's see, because that was a lot of the show. Oh, that really slowed us down. Oh. Nope. No, kill us. I gotta get a faster computer, apparently. But this idea of the fake alien invasion has been around for a long time. We'll have to, we're going to have to start doing like show notes and putting out like a newsletter or something. So if anybody wants to volunteer and become like a producer on the show, let us know. In fact, we've got let me put this up here for a second. That's our email address. I'm going to put that up for a second. You can email us at dudeigotanideaat@gmail.com. But I also have some other news. Don't let me forget about the other news, James. Don't let me forget about
other
that.
news. Got it.
But let me get back to our notes here. Boop. There we go. Okay, so because there was some really fun stuff that I found, and we can put out those links to those sites for you. But back in 2011, they had interviews with economists on CNN about how to get out of the economic downturn we had back then. How a fake alien invasion would be a great way to get out of the downturn of the economy, because it would band people together, and it would be like a wartime economy, and you could fight against these aliens. That was I was blown away when I found that. You should have it in front of you, right, on your laptop.
I have the Van Buren thing up right now.
Okay, so you're still working on that one.
Yep.
Okay. And then I also found this PDF that was really interesting and fun, that it was stress testing a fake alien invasion. And it was by a financial institution for investing. And it was basically a guide on the fake alien invasion and how it would affect investments. So this is something that people have been playing with, this idea, for quite a while. Now, there's a gentleman out there named Dr. Stephen Greer. Now, I don't want to give him too much credence because he seems to be a bit of a con man, and he, he's one of these guys that will charge you a lot of money to get you to come, and he'll contact the ETs and give you an ET experience. And anybody does that, in my opinion, is probably a con man and just trying to get your money. But he does talk a good game when he talks about the reasons why anybody in the CIA or the clandestine intelligence services would want to create and have a fake alien invasion. And he talks about the technology being developed since the 50s. And he goes into a lot of the German scientists. You were talking about von Braun and some of the other scientists in the Operation Paperclip, that all the scientists that we brought over after post-World War II to work in space programs.
Yep.
He talks a lot about that. And it, I hesitate to, like I said, give him a lot of credence, but he's not the only person I've ever heard talk about this. I tried really hard to find a video by a guy that claimed to be an ex-CIA analyst who I remember seeing about an hour and a half talk on YouTube where he talked about this, that there were plans to create a fake alien invasion to bring about at a certain time, to bring in martial law and to strip people of their rights and to further a globalist agenda. and he was trying to warn people about this. Well, it seems to be scrubbed from the internet. It's gone. I can't find it anywhere. But it was one of those that it's one of these other people that had it's again, it could be just a conspiracy theory. But the thing about conspiracy theories is just sometimes they're correct. They're a real conspiracy. But when you look at what's going on in the world today, and you look how we're marching so fast towards I hate that word, totalitarianism, that we are so just things are happening that are pushing it towards us. Our loss of our First Amendment rights, which I know everybody says, this whole thing with Parler and the big tech censoring of people is not a loss of First Amendment rights because they're a private company. But what people don't understand is when private companies can do an end run around the Constitution about your rights, yeah, you're still losing your First Amendment rights. When they can censor free speech without having to worry about laws or Constitution, it's still a loss of rights.
Or if they're shutting down the ability for millions of people to talk and get their ideas out there, like they shut off Parler, then it's the same thing. I mean, those people have lost the ability to get their message out.
Right. So anyway, going back to this fake alien invasion, I'm really kind of bummed I can't pull up all those websites, because I had one recently talking about one of the it was actually an older website from about 2011 where they talked about Project Bluebeam. Project Bluebeam was about tricking people with holographic projectors and projecting images in the sky. Recently, if you haven't seen it, you have to go and Google it, or DuckDuckGo it, since we're not using Google anymore, right?
Yes. And so I actually found Project Bluebeam.
Yep.
So this says it's 4 stages or steps that are going to be followed. Engineered earthquakes to produce archaeological findings, holographic images in the cloud, telepathic communication, and electronic provision of supernatural manifestations. So that's supposed to be what they're going to lead to in order to get Project Blue Clip to
Or Bluebeam.
Bluebeam, sorry, Bluebeam to come to fruition.
Yep. So the interesting about that is recently in China, and there's video of this, of people claiming to see a city in the clouds. And when you look at the video, it's really interesting because you see a city in the clouds. I mean, it literally looks like there's a city floating up in the clouds. Now, a lot of people, experts, so-and-so experts say they debunked it and say it's an optical illusion. However, I spent a good number of years of my life as a professional photographer. My degree is actually in 3D computer animation. I have a really good understanding of video effects and video imagery. And looking at the video, there's only 2 ways to do that. It's either a really good visual effect fake, and it's really well done, or it is some sort of projection into the sky. This is not an optical illusion. This isn't something that is naturally occurring. This was a man-made illusion. So holographic technology has come a long way. I remember, probably 10, 15 years ago, when I was a guard down in California, I was working up here and I had to do a temporary duty down at the DLI, and I had to do temporary duty down there, and I remember one night I was bored and I was reading on my phone, and I was reading a bunch of articles, and I came across this one about Japanese holographic technology that they were working on. And back then, they had just broken the barrier of being able to create a single point in 3D space using multiple holographic projectors. So they were able to create rudimentary shapes like a square or triangle, geometric shapes using light, and creating an actual 3D image so you could see it from any area. And now they have tables for engineers and stuff, which within the bounds of the table, they create a 3D images, holographic images that you can see and manipulate, just like you see on the Avengers, where Tony Stark is moving things around and he's doing that. Well, with the little special gloves you wear, and you can do that on these tabletops. So is it a far stretch that the Chinese have built a projector big enough to project a city into the sky? I don't think so.
I want to believe it's an actual city in the sky.
Bob says it's done through multiple satellites or numerous satellites. Probably. I wonder if it's not. Is it? I just want to see, because it doesn't look like it's updating. I wonder why it's not updating. Let me see if you have to refresh it to update, or I might just have to move it up. Oh, I have to move it up. Hey, Chuck's on. Hey, Chuck. Aliens. Yes, we're talking aliens. I have to work on this screen so people can see everything. Let me adjust this a little. Yeah, we're using new technology tonight, stuff that we haven't used before. We got a new service that allows us to go across multiple platforms. So we're actually streaming on Facebook and on YouTube and on Dailymotion, and we can actually see your texts on all of those from no matter what platform you're on. And I'm putting this up so everybody can see the chat bot. That way we don't have to read it. If we miss out your guys' chat, you guys can respond to each other. But I had it. It's too small, can't read. Alien tech. And it's alien to me right now. I'm trying to make it bigger so you guys can see it.
You just
then it wipes
covering
out
us
me.
up.
Let me take down the... Oh. See if we can... There we go. Hang on. See if that works. See if that's any better for you guys. It'll update in just a second, guys. So we're trying to make it better for you guys. But... So it says, hi, Glenda.
Peeking over
I wonder
the
if it keeps...
chat.
Yeah, it keeps jumping up. And I have to keep moving it up. That's going to be a pain. I got to find a better way to do this. We'll figure it out. But one thing, we will learn this technology. But so the question is, if they do have that technology, are they prepping us? Is that why they're releasing these videos from the U.S. government? Are they? I mean, are the movies and the all the announcements? Do you have that article that I sent you that with the former Israeli secret or service?
I do. Hold on.
Large pointer. Shut up, Chuck. Earn your first one of the night. Although you're right, it'd probably be easier.
Yes, I have it. It's right here. So, former Israeli space security chief has sent eyebrows shooting heavenly by saying that Earthlings have been contacted by extraterrestrials from the Galactic Federation.
So, yes, you have government officials are coming out, or former government officials are coming out and saying, yeah, there's aliens. They're real. So, yeah. But then again, you have people like Edward Snowden who searched the databases that he had access to, and he said he had pretty good access to a lot of information and couldn't find any evidence of any type of extraterrestrials or extraterrestrial contact. So, is it misinformation or what? What's going on there?
I think it's to prepare us. So they're trying to put out here and there that they have the Galactic Federation, and come to find out, it's just all just a sideways way of them trying to initiate the New World Order.
Well, what I think is interesting is the Build Back Better comment. Now, I'm sure, unless you've been hiding under a rock and haven't listened to any news over the last year, anything that comes out of any politician on the left or even towards the center, they keep saying we need to build back better. Build back better. You'll hear that time and time again. Biden's been saying it. Harris has been saying it. Pelosi's been saying it. Schumer's been saying it. I mean, you'll hear it over and over again. Here in Washington State, old Inslee said it. Build back better. And when you really think about it, what does that mean? Build back better. Not build a better future. Not we need to course correct or we need to do better, but build back better. You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah, so the problem that bothers me, it's, I don't know if everybody remembers the Georgia election. So what did Schumer say? They take Georgia and they'll change America. That's what his exact words. So the issue I have is me personally, I don't trust Chuck Schumer. And some of what he says kind of frightens me for my children.
Hold on, I'm responding to a text here. They're not showing up in the text line here. So, sorry. I should probably just respond by saying, Paula, supposedly all the text messages from all the different platforms are supposed to be going through the text bot and showing up here. But apparently they're not. Looks like you're on my personal page, and for some reason they're not coming in. You're not seeing them. That's weird. Don't know why. Because I should be getting text. The text should be coming in and out on both the Dude I Got an Idea page and on my page and YouTube and the Daily Motion site. So I'll still have to work out the bugs, but this is all new. This is the first time we've tried it tonight, so bear with us. But Lydia says hi. Hi, Lydia. Thanks for joining us. Bill says, beware the
Extra Testicle Federation.
I know. I couldn't get through it without laughing.
I finished that. I figured I'd help you out there. Yeah. They scare me, Bill. They really do.
But the reasons I say I'm going on about this Build Back Better is what worries me is you have to destroy before you can build back. So are they going to bring in these aliens to destroy things so they can build it back the way they want? Because all the story of Nero, and he partied while Rome burned, and everybody says the story of that he was a madman and partied while Rome was being sacked and burned. Well, the actual story is more he was not so much mad as he wanted to redevelop Rome. And so he burnt Rome on purpose so he could build back better, so he could rebuild it the way he wanted. So, if you look at what we talked a little bit last time, with the Illuminati and some of their ideas, if you look at like the World Economic Forum and the Council on Foreign Relations, and you look at these people's websites, they're not hiding their agendas or what they want to do. It's out in the open. But if you look at it, the 2030 agenda, they want to move people into human habitat zones, and they want to keep large swaths of the earth uninhabited. Well, how are they going to do that? People aren't just going to give up their homes. People aren't just going to march into, giant high-rise, worker storage units. They're going to be forced off their land. And how are they going to do that? Well, you're going to have something big and bad and scary. Alien invasion? Maybe?
Yes.
You think?
Yep. Either that or a new world war that's going to encompass the whole globe.
Right. So, is this technology there? Maybe, maybe not. But we're screaming, going there really, really quickly. Yeah, Clinton says that's their motto. Is you'll have nothing and you'll be happy. You'll own nothing. Yeah, that's right in their commercial. Yeah, isn't it called New York?
Close, Chuck.
They will have no choice. Although, here's an interesting little factoid. It's a little off the subject, but it's kind of in the subject. I don't know if any of you have been paying attention, but do you guys know? I'm going to put this out. This is a trivia question. Anybody here know who now is the biggest private owner of farmland in the United States?
I do.
We'll give them a chance.
I know. I'm waiting.
So we'll give you a chance for that.
He told me at work, so.
Yeah, I just found out this the other day, and I went, oh, another piece of the ding, 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 ding. And the winner goes to Glenda, Bill Gates. Yep, he has been buying up farmland all over the United States. Why? Because if you can control people's food supply, you control people. Yep. Oh, hey, Scott. Welcome on. He said Monticello. No, it's actually Bill Gates. Yeah, my brother was a little slow on that. He said, John said Bill Gates as well. I wonder why only half of the comments are showing up here.
I didn't see John's this time.
Yeah, because it's on my personal feed, and I'm monitoring my personal feed on my phone. So I got to figure that out, why it's doing that. But hey, Frank, thanks for joining us. But so it begs the question is, and Bill Gates is really involved in what's going on in the global world and the World Economic Forum in Davos, and it's all tied together. So are they planning this, fake alien invasion to destroy cities and destroy, people's livelihoods and or are they going to go the other route and keep, moving the goalposts on this pandemic, or is this pandemic just the opening salvo? Is this the first shot across the bow?
It could be. And you notice, talking about Bill Gates, who's one of the main personnel they have talking about the epidemic? Bill Gates. He's always on CNN, these other channels talking about how the pandemic, it can only be fixed with the vaccines. And he's a really big vaccine pusher.
Sorry, Chuck. Are we going to be re-educated for listeners? Probably. I'm waiting for the the stream to be cut off at any moment. I keep thinking if we're getting dangerously close to saying something that will get us cut off and shut down. So, Andromeda strain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of information out there, and like I said, I don't want to go down too much this road with the pandemic stuff because big tech is censoring the crap out of people, even if you are presenting it in a question format or you even get close to it, they're censoring the crap out of you. And we want to do other stuff than just the political stuff. So we don't want to get squashed. But it is, I would say go out there and do the research for yourself because there's a lot of stuff out there. So
I hear you, Chuck.
Chuck says, I had the vaccine. Gates is listening. Paula says Gates is involved with the vaccine, involved in AIDS treatments. He had funded money to give to China through the WHO. Is a vile man. Yeah, Bill Gates, eugenics. Yeah, and if you actually do some research into Bill Gates' family and his history, his father was involved with the early days of eugenics and the people who actually came up with that. Yeah, so it's not a far stretch to believe that he's involved in that. So, but we're getting a little far off the topic. But it all ties back in. And again, is in control. Is this a tool that they're going to use to get us off the land, get us into cities? I mean, are we going to be a District 9 type situation? For those who haven't seen the movie, it's
Hunger Games.
Yeah, I mean, Hunger Games is really the rich and elite's wet dream, if you ask me. And it feels like they're trying to create that to me. Maybe I'm just wrong. So was Bush family involved with PEP? You're going to have to elaborate on what PEP is, because that could mean a lot of things.
Private parts.
Pesky petroleum. I don't know. I nominate James.
Both.
Chuck.
It's just
James 1.0 or James 2.0? Oh, Planned Parenthood. I don't know if Bush's family was involved with Planned Parenthood. Oh, Paula. 1 second. I gotta think about Lady Gaga in a second. I'll have to do some research on that. It wouldn't be surprised me if they were, to be honest with you. Chuck says yes. Lady Gaga. Did anybody else watch the inauguration and think it was really strange that she had
the Hunger Games outfit on?
Yeah, and a gold microphone. I mean, to me, let's see. Kim says, "Wow, what would you do live in person when is donating AIDS treatment to end a pandemic vial?" That's a good question because the question is a fair one, and I'll give you that, Kim. It's definitely a fair one, but what is the intent behind it? And I'm sure you have researched, and I want to say it was Kenya, and correct me if I'm wrong, and I could be wrong here, that Kenya, if it wasn't Kenya, it was somewhere in Africa. They accused the Gates Foundation of sterilizing young African women with their vaccines, and so they banned them from their country for doing it. And one of the other things about charity in Africa, I saw a documentary on it. Was really interesting. Is we in the West are actually doing a lot of damage to the Africans and African countries with our charity. One of the what do you call it? Really famous charities was the guy that did the shoes. You buy a pair of shoes here, I'll donate a pair of shoes to children in Africa. Everybody here thought that was a great thing. And so what they did is they just bought shoes like mad. So the guy kept his word, and he donated pairs of shoes to villages in Africa. He wiped out cobblers all over Africa, put them out of business, because why would anybody in a village buy this guy's shoes when Americans were coming in and giving free shoes like mad? Instead of maybe, hey, buy a pair of shoes and I will donate to the businesses in those countries to help them build up their businesses and provide employment. So a lot of times, we have great big hearts and we want to do good for people, and we end up doing a lot of bad. So that's my take on charity. Sometimes we do more. Gates can donate cash to me, Chuck says. Yeah, me too. Charity of James. Yeah.
1/3. James is.
Yeah, giving clothes is the worst. The fabric industry has suffered. Yeah. They have some of the worst textile problems there because people just give clothes like mad to Africa, and so the merchants there can't make any money. Their textile industries can't make any money because everything they can get it free. Yeah, that's very true. But again, we've gotten away from
aliens.
Yeah, this is what happens when you open up the show. The audience takes control. That's the big question: is were you going to get taken control of by the end of?
So one question to Kim. Yeah. So the World Health Organization could do very great things. I think right now they're marginalized because of their leadership, and that's all I'll say to that.
Well, any organization that relies on money from, especially governments or political parties, becomes a pawn to that revenue stream. And one of the biggest, and you look at anybody, always follow the money. That's an old, and Chuck and Frank and any of my other law enforcement buddies that are out there listening, this is an old adage in law enforcement: always follow the money. And if you look where the money is, you'll see where their motivations are. And one of the biggest funders of the WHO, or the World Health Organization, is Chinese Communist Party. They put a lot of money into them. So, the guys that pay your paycheck, you kind of do what they tell you to do.
So Glenda asked, let's talk about the Space Force. Were they put in place to monitor the non-existent aliens?
That's a good question, because when Donald Trump put the Space Force into play, he did make a very interesting comment about space being a how did he put it? He put it as not a battlefield, but a war zone. Not a war zone, but what was the comment? No, I can't remember off the top of my head. But basically, he basically said that space would be a combat zone or something like that. So, exactly like why Trump stopped working with him. Space Force, we need Star Guard. They should have called it the Star Guard. Then we could have made bank on the naming rights. For those of you who don't know what Bill's talking about, it's the game, the miniature wargaming that my dad published in 1974, and that my books are based on. So, Scott says, however, America was paying the most into the World Health Organization. That may have been true at one time, but I do believe the Chinese Communist Party has taken over that particular mantle.
Either that, or they took over under their table payments.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, the Space Force, I think it grew out. The legitimate reason is it grew out like the Army Air Corps grew up from the Air Force. The main thing is there's so much space junk up there that the Air Force was tracking that it became a full-time job, and so they just split that off into its own force. But who knows? Maybe we've been watching a lot of Stargate SG-1 on our lunch hour because James and I work together. For those who don't know, we're both environmental assessors for the military, and maybe the secret space program is about ready to go not so secret in public. So they were getting people ready by creating the Space Force. Who knows?
I'm ready for it.
5 rounds of space comment. Space is number 5. I like that, Frank. Yeah. But who knows? I think that the technology, if you look at what we know we have, you're looking at technology that was developed and engineered in, probably the most stuff that's most recent that you know about is in the 70s and 80s. So the stuff that's being developed now is got to be beyond anything that would, most people can even comprehend. Because when you look at, like an F-16, that was developed in the 50s, thought up in the concept of 50s, 60s wasn't put into the service until the 80s, but the early concepts were starting to be developed really early on. The F-15, F-16, all those were, 70s, I believe it was 70s when they started the concepts of those. So those aircraft, even the F-22 and the F-35s, those aircraft, those were what, 90s, late 80s, 90s technologies that were being developed then. Who knows what the heck they have now? I mean, they're not going to show you, not now. So, but Kim says, but why Guardians? My son thinks this is hilarious. Probably because somebody thought it was cool, said like Guardians of the Galaxy is cool, why did they use a signet that looks like the Star Trek logo? Because it's cool, Maybe it's a tip of the hat to their favorite science fiction, Yeah, check this the SR-75, 1950s initial design, yeah. So the technology that we actually have now that's being developed is that you will probably not see for 20, 30 years, is going to blow your mind when you actually get to see it. There's just some pretty cool stuff out there that we have now. The stuff that they're playing with, it's just being a science fiction writer myself and, thinking some of these concepts up. It just blows my mind to think that maybe they actually have stuff, an anti-grav generator. That'd be really cool. But and this is what I'm gonna get on a little bit of a soapbox here, because if they really do have this technology that is sufficiently advanced enough to fake a alien invasion, that really pisses me off. And here's why. Here's why I get so angry by this. Because if we as a people are facing real threats, if climate change is as bad as the climate what do they call it? Climate alarmists say it is, which I personally don't think it is, because I've looked at other science that says it isn't. But for the sake of argument, let's say it is bad. Let's say we're all going to die in the 12 years that they said it was, 2 years ago, so we're like 10 years now.
Yep.
So every major thing throughout history, human beings have always risen to the challenge. We have always been innovative. We've always figured stuff out, and we've always found a way around it. I was reading an article the other day about vertical farming. Lizard babies. Leave it to Chuck.
Well, he said 1980 V.
Yeah. Lizard babies. Yeah. But we always figure a way. Like I said, I was reading this article about vertical farming. This company is, they thought, feeding a lot of people takes a lot of land. Well, what if we change that equation and we went vertical? We could then double, triple, quadruple the amount of food we can farm in that amount of land, because we can now go vertical with it. And with robots and stuff, it was really, really, really a cool article. And I thought, well, that's an amazing use of technology and innovation. So if we are smart enough to think of how to make holographic generators and fake aliens and anti-grav and ships that can with an inertial dampener, so they can make turns that would turn you into mush against the side of the ship without killing you, then why are we having all the problems that we have? Why aren't we using that technology to solve those problems?
It's all about the money.
Greed. Yep. Exactly. That's what it's about. Well, we're rolling up on 8 o'clock, and it's Fireplace Time special.
Hey, how about you end with unanimous?
Anonymous.
Yeah,
Anonymous.
Anonymous.
I wanted to play the video, and again, I can't because of some limitations of my machine, and I couldn't find it because it seems to have been scrubbed from the internet. But for those who don't know what Anonymous was a group that was started. God, they've been around for a long time. Probably 2000? I don't know, around 2000s or so. Hacking group, and they have done some major hacks. Like they've hacked governments, they've hacked banks, they've hacked police departments. They're kind of a hacktivist. Some people call them terrorists, hack terrorists. They've done a lot of stuff, but they have dumped a lot of information out on the web. They put out a video, what was it, about 3 weeks ago, maybe?
Yeah, I think so.
But they were saying, hey, we're still here, we're still around, and looking forward to 2021. And it was it was like 2 minutes, 3-minute video. They were talking about a few things, but they had this really short blip, and they said, this year, stay tuned to the skies. And that was it. And then they went on to a few other things. But that struck a chord with me. And I was like, because I was researching this fake alien invasion theory that people have been putting out since about 2010 to 2011, and I thought, stay tuned to the skies. What are these guys talking about? Do they know something the rest of us don't know? Yeah. Who knows? So, if the aliens do invade this year, I would definitely put it on your 2021 bingo card. You'll definitely get that one scratched off. But if they do invade, I wouldn't be so sure that they're actually aliens. Let's see. The moon will springboard today. Arenas in space, and all power places in the hands of the people who first dominated. Yeah? Yep. Watch the sky clock. So, what we're going to do, and this is the news you were supposed to remind me about, which I almost forgot.
Oh, yeah. Remember that thing you told me to remind you about.
Thanks, James.
Welcome, James.
This was a suggestion of a couple of listeners. Paula was one of them. And, hey, April, thanks for joining us. We're almost done. Scott says he's too old, but he'd go to space. We're going to attempt next week, for those who want to join, we're going to do a special Zoom audience participation show, which means you'll need to email me prior to the show to get the invite and the password to be on the show. You'll need a either headset and microphone or a decent microphone and a webcam. And we're going to bring everybody in who wants to go. And Chuck says, I'm in. Let's go to space. I'd go. I think it'd be a blast. But we're going to have an open forum, let people meet each other, and we'll just kind of go for it. Whatever topics people want to talk about, we're going to go for it. And we're going to do an hour Zoom podcast, and hopefully it won't get too crazy. Or maybe it will. Who knows? It could be fun. It could be crazy.
I'm voting it will.
So that was not my idea. So Bob said it was, or he says you guys were talking about it. So Paula, so I don't know exactly whose idea it was, but your name was mentioned in the conversation. So, but I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be a great idea, and I don't know if any other podcasts have actually done a Zoom podcast with their audience. So. And those who don't want to come on and be a part of it, we'll still be running the chat, so you can come in that way. So, face paint, yeah. Chuck, I dare you to come on with face paint. That is a dare, my friend. We'll see what he does. So,
Paula, oh Bob.
So yeah, 2 weeks. 2 weeks hence, we're gonna do a live Zoom podcast. So you'll need to email us at dudeigottanidea@gmail.com. I'll put that back up for a minute so you guys can see that. Email us at dudeigottanidea@gmail.com, and just say, hey, I want to be a part of the podcast, and I will respond with the invite and the password. It'll be 7 o'clock Pacific time, and we'll get you into the podcast, and we'll go from there. I think it'll be fun. Also, if you want to put in the podcast or in the email to get the password, a suggestion for a topic, maybe we'll pick a couple of topics and put them out beforehand so people can do a little research and be prepared for it. That might be a good idea too, so we're not all just going, hello. So that could be fun. So, all right, let me get those back up. So, all right. So glad you guys all joined it. I hope you enjoyed the show. Despite our technical difficulties at the beginning, we'll keep working to get those fixed and ironed out, and try to get the comments ironed out so all the comments from all the pages show up on here, because for some reason only half the comments are showing up, but I'll figure that out and we'll get that fixed. But it was really great to see a lot of you guys here. There was a lot of people here that I haven't been here for a long time, or the first time on the show with us and making comments, so I really appreciate that. Hopefully we were entertaining for you guys tonight. And I can't wait till we get to do this in 2 weeks and see some of you guys face to face. It should be a lot of fun. So, James, you got anything before we get out of here? Live long and prosper.
Nanu.
So I guess that's it. That's his.
See you later.
He's a man of little words. Let's get the heck out of here. Good night, all. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Chuck just asked how many number? I don't know. Quite a few, though.